Disclaimer, nothing I say in my videos should be taken seriously. I'm just some guy trying to have fun on the internet. Anyone who's been a fan of my channel for a little bit of stupid ad anyone who's been a fan of my channel for a little bit of time now is gonna know who TL Gent is, right? Well, this guy keeps pestering me to watch this video. Just kidding, I said I was gonna, and now I am. So yeah. Ignore that. So yeah, let's watch it. It's the OSC is darker than you think. Wow, you're right. It is darker than I thought. Okay, let's watch the video now.
Not these people of the auction community.
Jack and Jellyfy, Wugalo, Animation Epic.
These people, but these people.
Idiots. I know a lot about that.
In this video, we're going to be talking about the people of the object show community you should avoid. Have you heard
Slightly outdated.
of the object show YouTuber with more than 10k subs? You know the one.
I've heard of many object show YouTubers with more than 10k subs. Fast Duck, Cosmos is me, Jack and Jellyfy.
Known for spamming low-effort announcer text-to-speech videos with KFB clips. There's made some grooming jokes in the past, which, yeah, sure, it's not actually grooming, but it still doesn't mean it's right.
Well, you probably wouldn't want to associate with him anymore.
The
I never associated with them.
object show community is not what you think. And
I think it is what I think, because I know exactly what it is. It's the object show community.
on the surface level, it might seem like a very positive community, but when you dig below the surface, you will find
this
a lot
filter is starting to hurt my eyes. No offense, like, I get it's for, like, the aesthetic, but... Owie. Owie, ouch.
of disturbing and dark aspects. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in today's video.
I do think, it's, when I look around, I've got that thing, you know, where your eyes go, like, all wobbly. I do think, largely, as someone who's covered a lot of negativity in the OSC, with my, like, most viewed OSC-related video ever being, well, one, like, my first, I think, and also, like, very negative. I do think, yeah, there is a lot of bad stuff happening in the OSC, lots of bad people, even in the OSC, but on the whole, I think it's a very positive community. Most people are perfectly normal.
Yo, thanks guys for 2,000 subscribers. I did not expect that many subscribers on my channel, honestly, and
No one ever does. That's the interesting thing, is like, everyone reaches a milestone like 2,000 subscribers, and like, I remember when I hit 2,000 subs on this channel, I was over the moon, and now I've nearly got 5,000. I'm like approaching 5,000. So you know, it's crazy how small, like 2,000, admittedly, is a huge number. It's a massive number, but like once you get to double that size, you realize that it's kind of, you know, it's not that, it doesn't feel that big anymore, you know? Like 1,000 felt like I had peaked. I'm on the top of the world, and now I've quadrupled since then, and it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm still very appreciative, but your perspective changes.
pretty soon we could probably get to 3K. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely possible. But seriously though, thank you guys for all the support, and I want to start making...
I do think TL Gent will probably pass me one day. That's genuine. I do think his content is far better than mine. And if he keeps it up, he'll probably pass me.
longer videos on my channel, you know, just so you guys can have more to watch, just in case, you know, I might not upload for a few days, that type of stuff. So yeah, if you want to see longer videos on the channel, then definitely make sure to subscribe. But with all that being
Evil Leafy
said, hey, my name is TL Gent, and let's talk about how the object show community is not what you think.
Where it all began. With Jack and Jellyfy. That's where it began, I reckon. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it began with me. Maybe I started the OSC. Maybe I'm
So,
Carrie
let's say you've
KH.
been watching shows like Survival and Total Drama Island for years now. But you wanted something different when it came to competition shows. And you went
The
to
funny thing about that is I actually found BFDI first, and it got me into competition shows, and then after that I found Survivor and Total Drama and all that stuff. But yeah, BFDI was my... Oh, sorry, something scraped. BFDI was my first experience with object shows. which I really
YouTube to
enjoyed.
find something different. And you found the object show community, or BFDI in specific. You fell in love with the idea of objects competing for a prize, and you wanted to get more.
I wonder if there's anyone who got introduced to the object show community from something other than BFDI. Because I think I'd honestly doubt it.
Involved in the community. But for those of you that are thinking that the object show community is made just for kids, you would be wrong. You see, while the vast majority of audiences for object shows are children, the creators making these object shows are mainly adults.
I mean, for the big ones, yeah, but there's definitely I'd argue the popular shows are made by adults. Most shows are made by children. That's what I've at least noticed.
Shows can also attract other adult viewers who have been in the object show community for years. But not all
Or
fans
just like
of
a couple days, I guess. Yeah, who've just been in the who just are in it.
object shows are good people. And as we dive deeper into this video, you
I'm looking at you, Adam. 5 nickel plushies.
will see that there are some disgusting people in this community. And even a couple famous creators who turned out to be predators hunting after their children fan bases. But for
I'm looking at you. Someone non-specific, so this doesn't come back to bite me.
those of you that are new to the object show community, you're probably wondering, how did all of this begin? Jack and Jellify. Meet the two 26-year-old twin brothers, Michael and Carrie
They were actually 26 when they made BFDI, and they've been 26 ever since.
Wong, who created the object show community
That's the thing about life, is if you make something popular, you're not allowed to age anymore. You have to quit doing that.
back in 2010. The then 13-year-old brothers created the
The then 26-year-old brothers, I think, will find.
first object show to ever be made, titled BFDI, or Battle for Dream Island. The show would absolutely explode in popularity, with the first episode having over 60 million views at the time of recording.
60 million? I could do that.
When I tell you
Go watch Object Idiocy. Season 2, not Season 1, it's bad.
this show was a hit, with episodes being released monthly, people were eating this show up. The idea of objects competing
Honestly, I feel like BFDI Season 1, its growth was pretty slow, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, the first episode of BFDI, you know, the one with 60 million views, like nearly 70 million views? You wanna know how many views it got in its first year? 7,000. I could easily get 7,000 views on a video.
for a prize was a hit idea. But
Okay, I'm gonna take that back. I definitely couldn't easily get 7,000 views on a video, but I've definitely gotten 7,000 views on videos before. In quite a bit less than a year.
there was just one problem. You see, in the early days of the community, everybody was making their own object shows and having a lot of fun making them.
Whoa,
But
that island just split in half. Holy crap.
over time, the community has changed for the better and for the worst. You see, over time, the object show community started to attract more of an adult fan base. And while the
Yeah, I think it's because object shows got better.
vast majority of these older audiences for object shows were normal, there were a lot of degenerates that would also pop up through the scene. From plain ship art to straight up Rule 34 of child object show character.
Yeah. I know this is, actually, I'm not gonna say anything because it would be counterintuitive.
You see, a lot of object show characters within the object show
Nice, I love ads.
community are children, and a lot of these degenerates are making suggestive art of these characters.
Yeah. I think it's because, well, I don't know this for sure, but I feel like it's easier to get away with that kind of thing because they're not obviously kids, because they're all objects.
A lot of these people who make this weird art of object show characters promote their YouTube channels and DeviantArts just to make money off of this insanely bad art. In fact, some people even include NSFW into their own object shows.
And that's, we call those people reportable, because they're reportable.
Now, my
and you
theory
should report them.
is that people are just doing this just for attention and to get more traction to their YouTube channels, but I could be wrong. But when you really think about it,
I don't get why people use negativity as, like, I mean, I don't get why people want negative attention. People say all publicity is good publicity, but that's not true. Good publicity is good publicity.
Theory makes a lot of sense. I mean, why else would people be creating these weird object shows?
Because they're weird people. I think that's why. I think most likely they're creating these weird object shows because they're unhinged, strange people who don't know, who just don't care.
And while a lot of the criticism for these object shows is deserved, I'm going to show you in this next chapter a lot of object shows who got undeserved criticism and hate in the form of a simple review show.
Chapter 2, The Fall. I call it autumn in my country. Chapter 2, The Autumn.
You see, from late 2019 to January of 2021, there was an object review show created by a YouTuber by the name...
I can't help but think that this little object character here looks like the Google logo. Am I crazy? Like, it's that kind of shape with that color scheme. That you're Google.
Of Nevada the X-Tate. Nevada the X-Tate himself was a veteran within the OSC, joining the object show community in 2015. One of his more...
That's only a year before I did. No, seriously, I joined in 2016. I was what? 8?
more popular contributions to the OSC was his object show called Battle for $1 Trillion. Now, his object show Battle for $1 Trillion had a good amount of traction, and throughout the 2010s, Nevada the X...
You know what other object show should get a good amount of traction? Object Idiocy. I'm a shameless self-promoter.
He would post a lot of time-lapse videos for other object shows that he worked on. But in September of 2019, he would try something new. That would be his review show called Moser. You see, Moser was basically a monthly series that Nevada the X-Tate would post to his channel where he would review...
I don't know who made that there scene, but if you're watching this video... Whoa! That is a landscape and a half right there.
A lot of popular object shows that
Which doesn't make any sense. It is just one landscape. A snippet of one landscape, as a matter of fact. But it's an expression.
Came out within that month. And occasionally he would have a special guest featured onto Moser, usually one of his friends through Discord. And for the first couple of episodes for this series, everything was going really well. The production quality was decent and they were getting a couple thousand views each. But pretty soon, the series of Moser would take a negative turn. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Moser would frequently feature special guests onto the show. And this is where the...
I mean, a couple thousand views doesn't sound like a lot when it comes to YouTube standards, but when it comes to OSC standards, it's pretty good because the OSC is really unbalanced when it comes to the creators, right? Like, everyone thinks the OSC is super popular because Jack and Jellyfy have 2 million subscribers, but it's really not. Like, most people in the OSC are pretty niche. There's, like, Jack and Jellyfy, and then, like, Animation Epic, and then, like, one other guy, maybe. But I can't even tell who it is. And they're popular. And then everyone else is pretty niche, if I'm being honest. Like, less than 500,000 subscribers. Sure, it's a lot, probably, if you've got like 100,000k. 100,000? Jesus, that's 100 million. Yeah, if you've got 100,000 subscribers, like, you're popular, but you're not like famous, right? Like, you know, you're well known. The OSC as a whole is pretty niche.
The controversy.
That's kind of unrelated. I just kind of felt the need to say that. And I tried to, like, just kind of crowbar it in there.
You see, throughout a lot of the episodes featuring special guests, Moser would have a lot of mean-spirited comments within the episode. I would say one of the worst instances
Oh, Moser. That's not your name. Oh, the show.
of this occurring would be in Moser May. You would see that in the shows that they're reviewing in Moser May, they would mainly look for problems within the show to call out. This practice would be done.
I'm gonna hope I remember to make that joke work. I might forget. Whatever.
Profusely with BFB. Whenever the Moser cast would review an object show like BFB, they would heavily criticize it. While the majority of it was fair, sometimes it would look like they were looking for problems to find within the show. And it would only
that's who would ever do that? That's
be a matter of time until this practice would get Moser into controversy. And on August 17th, 2020, Nevada the X-Day would post a video addressing the controversy that Moser had got into previously. You see, an object show by the name of Object Redemption would be reviewed in Moser. And overall, within the Moser episode in question, the show would be given a relatively positive / mid score. But the
writing, I assume this is out of 10? Writing 5, voice acting. I don't know. I listened to it on mute. Animation 5, design 5, editing 5, creativity 5. Okay.
creator of Object Redemption.
Your creativity when ranking stuff is a 1 because you gave everything 5.
After seeing the Moser review was not happy. They went on a whole rant discussing their disapproval of the review and much, much more. Because of this controversy, Nevada the X-Tay would take a break from Moser, and eventually Moser would return in November of 2020. And luckily the show would have a steady run until about January of 2021 when the show
Moser died.
Would abruptly end. And the true reason why Moser discontinued is unknown to this day. Now, I touched on this previously in the
maybe what was it? Nevada just got bored.
video, but I want to return to this topic in our next chapter. You see, with
bruh, we naming people after states now. We got states up in the object show community. I don't know.
The new object show being created almost every day, there's obviously going to be fan art to support these object shows.
Make fan art of Object Idiocy, or don't, I don't care.
But not all of this fan art is safe for work, and some of it is just downright disturbing.
Chapter 3, the fan art that went too far.
The topic of Rule
Whoa, it's a lamp!
34 in
and
the
a
object
stick?
show community has been discussed since as early as 2016.
That is a branch, maybe? Because that is terrifyingly big in comparison to that lamp. That looks like a pretty decently sized lamp, like this big. That's like one of those branches that you find on the beach. You know what I'm talking about? Like that washed up?
Now, even though this practice wasn't common in the early days of the object show community, over the years it started to become more popular. And unfortunately, with every good part of a community...
Damn, Hammer had... The strong but dumb character is a hammer? Who would have guessed?
There's also a negative part to go along with it. And this fact is heavily prevalent within...
Sorry, I'm looking at the... it's like baby, like, Subway Surfers in the background. I'm just watching an object show while listening to this guy talk. I wasn't actually paying attention to what he was saying. Whoopsies!
The object show community, and especially the object show fan art community. But the worst part of Rule 34 within the object show community is that it's easily accessible to children. And
it's not that easily accessible to children. I take that back.
Unfortunately, all it takes is one Google search to ruin a BFDI / object show community fan's childhood. Now, a lot of this Rule 34 in
the problem with, like, I think the internet... Sorry, this is my rant about the internet. Fueled by this video about the object show community. The internet is simultaneously the best and worst thing humans ever created, because, like, it's amazing for education and entertainment and all the, you know, fun stuff we need in life, but it's terrible for if you want to be a stable person.
Object show community is mainly prevalent on sites like DeviantArt and Tumblr, which is where a lot of...
And Tumblr? Really? Okay.
Of young artists spend their time. Now, the vast majority of this art is created by adults. The more degenerate sides of
Yo! Sorry, I recognize this show. What's it called? It's like... It's so good, dude! It's the best show ever! It's like Object something.
the Object Show fan art
That really narrows it down. It's Object something. Every Object Show is called Object something.
community. Many expulsion videos on these types of YouTubers and creators have been made throughout the Object Show community's history. This practice has been done so much to where the creators of already existing Object Shows have had to come out publicly and state that they do not want Rule 34 made from their Object Show characters.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now, actually. You know Object Idiocy, the thing I've been harping on about for the past, like, 5 years or something, it feels like? Don't touch my baby.
And even though a lot of these creators have come out and said this, and YouTubers have made videos on this practice, nothing has happened to actually stop it. But Rule 30...
Hold on, go frame by frame. Go frame by frame on this animation. Okay. It must be just the motion blur.
isn't just in the Object Show community. The sad
Yeah,
truth
it's everywhere, dude.
is that this artist plastered over thousands of different communities.
That's the problem with adults, I guess, is that they don't think about what they're drawing before they post it online, right? Here's my take. If you want to draw that kind of thing, I can't stop you. My suggestion is don't post it. Period. Or if you really desperately want to post it somewhere children aren't going to find it. That's all I have to say.
But not all hope is lost. You see, even though this artist plastered over many communities, it is still starting to slow down. And hopefully one day there will be no more Rule 34 in any...
That's just wishful thinking, my guy. No way, that's... Play the scene from Shrek where he goes... Editor that I don't have. Play the scene from Shrek where he goes...
Like that's ever gonna happen. What a load
community
And if I forget to do that... Whoopsies.
along the internet. But even though this might be the case for the future, we're still not done. Now you see, over the years, people have been creating their own fan shows of popular already existing Object Shows like BFDI.
I'm trying to think of a funny name for this guy. Give me a second. By Cade Mullane. I couldn't think of anything.
And Inanimate Insanity, and One. And while 99.9% of these Object Shows are wholesome, the 1% of them are just not that. Some of these Object Shows contain gore and even sexual scenes. One of
Object Terror.
the more popular examples of this would be an Object Show by the name of Object Terror.
Yeah!
Object Terror was your run-of-the-mill 2010 style Object Show, but there was just one problem with it. The show contained heavy amounts of gore. Now, even though death in Object Shows is not uncommon, the way Object Terror would execute these character deaths would be way too...
Interesting choice of word. They would execute these character deaths. I personally would have said done.
graphic for children. And that's who you can probably guess was the majority of people watching these Object Shows. But luckily, after a long battle with the rest of the OSC, the creator of Object Terror would switch up their content and start to create more regular animations.
Good.
But for these other Object Show YouTubers in the community, they didn't do that, to say the least.
OSC creators who never learned. Number 1, Thrarm Clips. I never learn anything. I don't even know what my name is. I shouldn't have paused.
As long as any community has been around, there's always
J.A. Sonic 15 Diamond Jordan Medrano.
been hate surrounding it. And while a lot of this hate is undeserved, some of it is deserved to certain creators who have done unspeakable acts. And in this section of the video, we're going to be going over just that. You see, there have been a lot of OSC YouTubers like Gary, Free Smart, Diamonds Are Cool, who have had many hate videos made on them. But the thing...
Many. Oh boy, have I seen my fair share. Cade Mullane.
that separates all these creators is that Gary's case wasn't as gruesome as Diamonds Are Cool.
What the hell is that? What the hell is that in the corner? Is that Finn from Adventure Time?
Or Free Smart. But I will recommend some other YouTube videos in the description that go in more depth on these situations. But you see, the sad truth about a lot of these OSC YouTubers that would have expose videos made on them is that they had a really strong fan base before this would happen to them. Now, although a lot of these YouTubers mostly just leave the internet after these allegations come out, some of them try to make a change for their careers.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what the better move is.
A good example of this would be a YouTuber by the name of Lego Boy and Jay. You see, after he got into massive controversy over his Object Show Object Terror, he would slowly change his content for the better. And even though the majority of people still kind of hate him to this day,
I don't hate him. I'm gonna be honest, I don't. I hate what he created. I hate Object Terror. I don't hate the guy. That's how I feel about Cade Mullane, too. I dislike what he's made. I don't dislike him.
At least he made an effort to change. But while the case of Lego Boy and Jay could be classified as a good ending, the same cannot be said for Odyssey 10. If you're unfamiliar with Odyssey 10, he was the creator of the BFDI Mega Iceberg video that has over 1.1 million views.
I know that one. I've seen it.
You see, before this video was released, Odyssey 10 had around 50 subscribers. But very shortly after he released the Iceberg video,
that's like another level of viral, right? Like, I've had my viral moments with the Cade Mullane video. I'm gonna keep mentioning that forever. That's my legacy. But like, that has to this day has like 80,000 views.
Channel would skyrocket.
And I already had over 800 subscribers at that point. So
popularity. And because of this newfound traction to his channel, he would become good friends with popular OSC YouTubers. The two best examples of this would be YouTubers like Hypercrystal and Miles Doodles Art. But there was
Hypercrystal and Miles Doodles Art, two people who I've heard of.
Only one problem with this friendship. But shortly after this friendship started, Odyssey 10 would start to vent to these two heavily. Basically just your typical clingy friend. The only problem was, at the time, Odyssey 10 was 22 years old. And also, both Miles and Hypercrystal were minors at the time. And although the community didn't completely turn on him, it definitely did take a blow to his reputation. A video by Rio Mations discussed this situation in depth, so I recommend that.
What the hell is this tier list?
That video. Now, for our final chapter, I want to go over something that I mentioned previously in this video, but I couldn't touch on too much. So, yeah, let's get into that.
Chapter 5. When the criticism went too far. Please hire me. Companies who want to make, what are they called? Trailers for their movies. I'll do it. Pay me 5 cents. Maybe a little more.
Now, for this final chapter of the video, I want to go over something that I mentioned previously. Now, when I was talking about the object review show named Moser, I was definitely going over how they were very critical of BFDI/BFB. Now, around that time frame...
Yeah. Aren't we all very critical of BFDI/BFB? No?
Of like 2020 to early 2021, a lot of review shows were heavily critical of BFB PostSplit, but I bet you're probably...
I honestly... I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be completely dead honest with you. I don't understand the point. I mean, I don't understand the hate towards BFB PostSplit. It was fine, right? Like, it was whatever. It's like the... In my opinion, the worst that BFB has been. But it was still good, right?
Probably wondering why. Well, you see, the thing about PostSplit BFB is that the writing was very off for that part of the series. As said by a lot of BFB fans, they felt like BFB PostSplit didn't really include the charm that earlier BFB episodes had. You see, the reason why this was is because the main writer for BFB, Satomi, left the BFB crew to go work on Teapot, which meant that a lot of parts that people enjoyed from pre-split BFB just weren't in post.
I don't know Satomi's workload, or the workload of anyone working on BFB and Teapot, but it's possible to do both, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
And in Moser, like I talked about earlier, they were heavily critical of BFB. The worst instance of this happening would be in Moser May, where they would review BFB 17 and 18 respectively. Sometimes the criticism got so bad.
BFB 20 is my favorite episode of BFB. And I know that's controversial to say, but it's true.
To where people were making videos telling just why they hate a certain BFB episode. Luckily, the series improved throughout the later half of it. And if you ask any
And BFDI 20 is my favorite episode of BFDI. I think I just have a connection to space.
BFDI fan, they will tell you that BFB PostSplit was the worst season of BFDI. And to be honest, if you would have asked me what the most hated object show was back in 2021, I probably would have told you it was PostSplit BFB. But looking back, there were definitely way worse shows out there. Now, to wrap up this chapter, I want to talk about a serious topic within the object show community. You see, when I made this video, I wanted to address the amount of hate that's in the OSC. And while there are certain
Whoops!
great and amazing parts of this community, there are also horrible parts to it. And the same thing applies to any other community that you'll go to on the internet. But just because that's the case, that doesn't mean that you have to be one of those people. In fact, the whole reason why I make these documentaries is because I want to spread more awareness to these parts of the object show community. For some reason, I see a lot of OSC YouTubers just gloss over this part of the OSC. But
Well, I've certainly done far less than gloss over. I built my channel off of this part of the OSC.
even though I do see this happen a lot, I can understand why. I mean, a lot of this stuff is risky topics to actually discuss in a video. So I'm definitely not.
I've only been demonetized once. I'll let you guess which video it was.
I'm mad if an OSC YouTuber doesn't want to talk about this stuff. But I will say the good news is I do see a lot of more OSC commentary YouTubers popping up onto the scene. Now I will say the good parts of the object show community definitely shine heavily over the dark parts of it.
That's true.
And in fact, YouTubers like It's Something turned object show Rule 35.
It's something. Is something. I don't really know what I think of It's Something. It's certainly different. It's very different too, but it's kind of similar to my content in a way, I guess.
Into an actually funny topic. Just kind of poking fun at the people that actually
But
make
It's Something just does it way better.
the art. Go watch one of the videos and you'll see exactly what I mean. Link in the description.
Outro coming soon. Smile. Colon bracket. I remember I was talking to my friend today actually, and I said colon, and they thought I said cologne.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video.
You're
I know
welcome.
This is gonna be outdated in a while, but this is my longest video yet.
This is probably gonna be my longest video yet. Whoa, story of webs for revs.
If you're watching this part of the video, thanks for sticking around, and if you enjoy stuff like this, then make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I really like
Beat you to it! Haha! Whoa!
These mini video essays about OSC YouTubers and all
Yo,
that
if
stuff.
you see this,
so it really does
subscribe.
make me glad that there's people out here that
Okay.
actually enjoy that. But yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.
My throat is hurting. Anyway, if you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, and simultaneously subscribe. My throat's really sore. I'm gonna go take a COVID test.